نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي ربنا زدنا علما اللهم فقهنا في الدين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Okay, alhamdulillah, yesterday we started Surah Quraish and we did a quick summary and a little background on Surah Quraish. Who can give me the background in just, 1 or 2 minutes? A quick background. Yes, Riz.
So, Surah Quraish is following after Surah Al-Fil, and as it's showing from these ayahs that this surah has been given for the protection of the Quraysh, which are the tribe of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And it's been talking about where they've been given security and how.
Exactly.
They are a well-respected tribe because of the Kaaba.
Yes. Just because they were custodians of Kaaba, they enjoyed a special status in the society because people knew that they would visit Mecca for their pilgrim. So they did not want to mess with that tribe because, again, they were, serving them, and they took it as a religious duty to serve people who come in for the pilgrim. And also, that was actually bringing them business as well because, the Hajj or whatever the form of pilgrim was at that time, that was just not worship. It was basically a form where people would take goods as well to sell and buy stuff, and do business as well. So that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that you are enjoying this privilege for the very reason that Allah's house is there. And Allah specially mentioned in this ayah, فَلْيَعْبُدُوا رَبَّ هَذَا الْبَيْتِ. So they should worship the Lord of this house. Okay. So let's recap a little bit about this word, فَلْيَعْبُدُوا. فَلْيَعْبُدُوا is from the word. We know that this is from the word abd. Okay. So again, when we did Surah Al-Kafirun, we did this word. So فَلْيَعْبُدُوا has these 3 letters, which is Ain, Ba, Dal. And remember, we said that at that time that we can loosely say that the translation is worship. But what exactly worship means in Islam? Anybody remembers from Surah Kafirun? Riz, you remember?
It was like showing respect and love for like a god, which in our case is like Allah. So
what is the actual meaning of the word abd? Being abd is who? Zara, you remember? Do you remember the word abd?
Sorry, my internet's bad. I couldn't hear you. What'd you say?
Okay. Yeah, I said that the word abd, we did this word. Remember we did
a few days ago. Yeah.
Yes. So we said at that time, and I remember we watched a video as well where we talked about that, yes, we do translate the word abd as worship, but it kind of loosely means worship. It means something more than just worship. And I remember it was, I think probably Ustad Noman Ali Khan's video, and he talked about the difference between being Allah's worshipper and being Allah's blank. What was that?
A slave.
Slave. Very nice. Good job. So it was basically worship. And so, okay. So, and he also gave an example. When are you worshiping Allah and when are you being Allah's slave? Yes, she's.
Like when you're praying, you're worshipping Allah, you're reading the Quran, you're worshipping Allah. But if you're like, we don't like pray every single time. There's specific times for it. So like, and in those times, like for
Mhm.
example, you're sleeping, you're still the slave of Allah.
Awesome. Good job. Yes. So we are still, so worship plus slavery. Basically, a Muslim, the word Muslim is somebody who submits to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A Muslim does not have their own will. They submit to Allah's will because Allah is our creator. Allah is our sustainer. Allah provides us. So that's why the word Rab also came right here. And I remember that we talked a lot about this word Rab as well, that he is the one who, so if we consider, like we consider about us, we said that Allah is the, is the Rab, is our Rab. So when we say that, we mean that Allah is our creator. He's our provider. He sustains us. He takes care of us. He nourishes us. When Allah is the Rab of the house, what Allah does for the house then? So Allah is the one who created the house. So he said, Lord of the house, right? Okay. Yes, Zara?
Does he like protect the house?
Yes. He protected the house all along. It is said that the house was there. I mean, there are different various narrations, but it said that since the coming of Adam alayhi salam, this place was Allah's house. But of course, it wasn't really a structure, the proper structure. Ibrahim alayhi salam was the one who actually, with the help of his son, Ismail alayhi salam, built this house. And while they were building this house, they kept on making dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept this from them. I mean, it's so amazing that, you know, one, they're building the house, but they're so mindful of the fact that they're doing this, but all they want is Allah's acceptance. So they kept on praying that Allah accepts this deed from us. And Allah did accept this deed from them because this house of Allah's is going to stay until the day of judgment. And every single person who worships Allah over there, who gets the reward other than the people who are doing it? It all goes to Ibrahim alayhi salam and Ismail alayhi salam. Imagine how much reward they are getting for everybody who's going there and performing the Hajj or Umrah and all the rituals. They are the ones who are getting rewarded. And they even prayed for, you know, the Ummah, the Muslim Ummah. Okay. So basically, but the point, you're right, Zara, is that Allah protected this house a lot of times from Ibrahim alayhi salam to Prophet Muhammad sallam. I don't know exactly how many years, but they are probably, I think, yeah, definitely more than 1,000 years or probably 2,000 years. So for that many years, during all the things, all the calamity that the world might have faced, this house remained the house of Allah. It did not go anywhere. Now think about it, like how many structures really stay the way they are for thousands of years? Not many, right? Especially the structures that humans build, they don't stay for long. They get destroyed. Floods come, earthquakes come, things happen. But this house stayed at this very place as a house of Allah. So that's why Allah actually protected this house. And the very recent history with people were that this house was protected by Allah for Abraha. When Abraha came, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protected this house. Okay, so Allah is asking people, coming back to the point, to worship him. So what should they do? They should worship. They should falyabudu. They should be enslaved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They should be listening to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So what exactly was happening at that time? Were they not worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? What were they doing? Okay, anyone? Inaya? Is Inaya there? Rohan?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I don't know.
I think it's such an easy question that I'm going to tell you, you'll be like, oh, really? You're right.
Wait, what's the question? Can you repeat it?
So when Allah is telling them, so let them worship the Lord of their house. So what were they doing? Were they not worshiping? What were they doing actually?
They're worshiping Allah.
They were?
Worshiping Allah.
Before Prophet Muhammad Sallam came, what were they doing? Were they worshiping Allah? Yes, she's.
They were worshipping the idols.
Exactly. They were worshiping the idols. The entire Kaaba was full of idols. So imagine, think about it. You give somebody, you do favor to somebody, and that person, instead of thanking you, thanks somebody else in front of your eyes. How bad is this gonna sound? They know that Allah protected them. When Abraha came, the Abraha's army came, the idols did not go and protected Kaaba. Abraha was all ready to smash everything, including the idols. They were in no position to do anything, but they were still worshiping those idols. Think how bad it is, and how would somebody, we humans cannot tolerate such an attitude. So how could Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tolerate such an attitude? So they were not only in the strict sense worshipping the idols, doing sajda and everything and performing all the rituals. They had their own things that they were doing, their own rules, which were not the rules of a person, a religious person. Even if like they were not, Islam was not there, like examples, cheating, lying, killing baby girls. They were doing all those stuff. And they knew this was bad. I mean, nobody had to tell them. The Prophet did not have to come and tell them that, killing baby girls is bad or lying or cheating is bad. They knew it, but they were still doing it. So that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَلْيَعْبُدُوا, they should be thankful to Allah. They should be worshipping to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is their protector. He's giving them so much, and yet they are not listening. Okay, let's quickly go to the next ayah. Allazi, the one who. Okay. Who are we talking about here? So let them worship Lord of this house, the one who. So we are talking about still the, yes, Rohan?
Lord of the house.
Lord of the house.
Lord of the house. Whenever this word like Allazi comes, it is pointed to something that just came right before. So I'll be asking this question. So okay, this is what it is, okay? At'amahum, feeds them. The hum is for them. It's a pronoun. Min. Here we're going to do min translation against. Usually min is for from, but from will not make sense here. So we're going to say against. Just bring it down. Actually. Ju. Ju means hunger, starvation. Wa amanahum. Anybody knows what that means? We have the name Amna. My daughter's name is Amna too. Everybody knows some amna, right?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Gives them peace. Basically, amana means peace. Peace or security. Min, again, we're going to say against. Khawf. What does khawf mean?
Isn't that a word in Urdu too?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes, Rohan?
Yeah.
Fear. Khawf is a Urdu word as well, and khawf means fear. And there are different words for fear. Like, for example, there's another word which is called khashya. That also means fear. And khashya mostly comes from fear of Allah. And khashya has more of a meaning of respect, respectfully fearing somebody, just like you fear the anger of your parents or your school principal or your teachers. You don't want them to be mad at you. That kind of fear. Khawf is mainly against calamities. Lion, that kind of fear where you actually feel the fear, okay, something bad will happen. That kind of fear is khawf. Clear? Okay, let's do the complete translation. The one who feeds them against hunger and gives them peace or security against fear. Okay, so again, whatever we talked about, Allah re-emphasized this when Allah said that He is the protector of the house. He did not just protect this house, He protected all of you as well. You did not stay hungry. Nothing happened to you. When it was like, time when it was extreme hunger, or because again, they were living in very extreme circumstances. It was a desert. But they did not really fear hunger. Why? Because again, it was a very happening place. People were coming and going. They did not feel like, even if something like that happened, they did not feel that. Yes, Sumaya?
I just want to ask you, then is the next surah Surah Al-Fil?
No, not right now. I'll let you know next Monday which surah we're doing next, okay?
Okay.
Okay. And also peace against fear. And I think we talked about what kind of fears people used to have, especially when they were traveling. We covered that, like fear of harsh climate, fear of dying because you won't find anything to eat or drink, fear of animals, bugs, snakes, and also a very real fear of the bandits, people who would loot, because that was very common. And kind of Quraysh was safe because of the Kaaba. Yes, Riz?
So this last ayah is also referring to the second ayah as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because it's talking about the security here too.
Yes. Yes.
Here it's talking about the journey of winter and summer, and there
yes,
it's talking about against hunger and peace against fear.
right. So here in this ayah, in the beginning, Allah just said, your security. It just that it was kind of in the third person. But when Allah named the house, his house, He actually specifically mentioned, no, this is not because of anything else. It is because of Allah, your Rabb. This is because of that. So the main lesson that we learn from this is that we should be mindful of who has given us what and thank them accordingly. We know that our parents provide us everything. We don't go and thank somebody else and respect, of course we should respect everybody, but we don't go and give credit to somebody else. We give credit where it is due. And we should realize the fact that whoever is blessing us with any favor, we know and we thank accordingly. So that's what they were not doing. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned that at least be mindful that, and at least use your brains, that your idols are not giving you anything. This house was built by Ibrahim alayhi salam, and Ibrahim alayhi salam was on Tawheed. Ibrahim alayhi salam was a Muslim. He was a prophet of Allah. He never worshipped idols. So how could you? So I think I can leave you with this. Any last minute comment, question from the surah? Okay, all right. Jazakallah khair for joining. I'm going to let you know which surah we are doing, inshallah, on Monday. So we will start that. Jazakallah khairan. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta. Subhanaka. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.